for the audience, share your definition or some conversation around what emotional intelligence means to you?
Yes, emotional intelligence is the ability to manage your emotions well within yourselves and well within others in an effective and appropriate manner so that you both can come out to an outcome that you both desire. So it's basically when you be able to manage and have self-regulation on your responses instead of reacting, you have the ability to respond in a appropriate and effective manner.
That's so big. So I love this. One of my favorite things to talk about is as adults that are able to respond and we have that responsibility. Whereas when we're in animal brain or when we're in our, like our younger years, we are in a reaction space.
Mhm.
Will you dive into that a little more? That's really a great topic.
Yes, yes. So my background is, I'm coming from a very unhealthy, toxic marriage, and where that's where when I found emotional intelligence, I was, researching and trying to figure out what's wrong. Why are things getting better? Why do we keep going through the same conflicts over and over? The emotions were, out of control, and I just found like, hey, these emotions are being mismanaged. It's once your emotions are high, then you know that your intelligence is low, and that just brings you into a space of confusion. It brings you to a space of frustration, and it's just a vicious cycle. So once I came across emotional intelligence, I said this is important information here. When as we start off as young, and then we come into the world, and we our focus is just so much on learning. It's so much focused on the external, on what we have to learn, and that just continues and continues and continues. But what we are not taught at that time is that we should be paying more attention to ourselves. We're co-creators, we're miraculous human beings, and emotions are a part of who we are, just like our eyes, nose, our touch, and everything else. So but our emotions is something that we do not pay attention to when it's time to feel. People are being taught to suppress their emotions. Oh, stop crying. Oh, suck it up, man up. And it's just the incorrect way to grow up. It's the incorrect way to live your life. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's time to just push away and just unlearn that unhealthy behavior, and start developing more healthy behavior by managing and learning how to feel. Excuse me, learning how to feel your emotions, and learn how to navigate, learn how to be motivated, because that's part of it. Being optimistic, having empathy, being able to feel other people when they're feeling a certain way, and responding appropriately in your situation. So as long as you are responding appropriately, and allowing your emotions to tell you and send you messages instead of pushing it away, then you have a better ability to come to the best outcome that you want for yourself, and that you would want for yourself and the other person.
Mm, so true. I'm curious for you when you say respond appropriately. Like, will you say more there? Like, what that looks like to you? I know we're talking about responsivity versus reactivity. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about because to me, emotions are I've had in my past, I used to not have very, I was going to use the word control, but it's more like I would react instead of respond to my emotions. And I look
Yes.
at emotions as like a really powerful feedback system, helping you know where things are out of alignment, directions that you need to grow, places you need to learn to communicate better, and things like that, which is definitely what I hear you saying. So we talk a little bit about the links between quote appropriate responses versus something that's going to be more destructive in a relationship.
Yes, yes, you said it perfectly there. And the appropriateness is the opposite of the destructive responses. The yelling, the name calling, the spitefulness, the hurtful behaviors. Physical, any type of abuse, anything that is hurtful towards the situation or hurtful towards another person. that is what is disruptive. That behavior we want to avoid. When it's appropriate, you're able to take time to sit back and think. And you mentioned, feel your emotions and listen to the messages that they're trying to tell you, because they're guiding you. It's data that's guiding you in the right direction. It's telling you something. So you have to be able to pause and sit with it and be able to feel. And then it doesn't matter which emotion it is. What I cringe at hearing is when people call emotions negative. There are no negative emotions. When we look at anger and fear and frustration, those are the ones that they will say is negative. However, it's every emotion is valid. Every emotion that you feel is valid. Just because you feel angry, that's not a bad thing.
To listen to the full episode, head on over to nfacoaching.com, hit the podcast link, and it'll take you to all of the full episodes. And go ahead and leave some comments. I'd love to hear from you to know how these inspirational interviews, tips, and tools are impacting you in your life and business. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of the Max Potential Habits episodes.